are the local media people. They will be asking questions about different topics. But first of all, to start our press con this afternoon, welcome to Dumaguete City. And we would like to ask you to give us a little opening statement so that we could take off with our press con this afternoon.
Okay, first of all,
we're happy to be here in the city of gentle people. Di ba yung tawag sa Dumaguete? Tapos, city of universities. Very small area, but there are 4 universities here. So, this is I think I cannot count how many times kasi nag-guest din ako dyan sa Silliman University. So, yun lang. And we're happy to be here. Thank you.
Sen?
Thank you. Mayong hapon, thank you very much for this opportunity. We had just had a brief meeting with the local government officials, mostly NPC, and Congressman Chiquiting Sagarbarria and I as National Chairman, and as Chiquiting Sagarbarria as the Provincial Chairman. We already informed our party mates that in Negros Oriental, we are endorsing Senator Ping Lacson as our presidential candidate. Siyempre yung vice automatic NPC.
Thank you po. Doctora, can you say a little something first?
I don't want to say much, no, because we had a nice dialogue last. Well, first of all, I'm very happy to be here sa Dumaguete, and gentle people and learned people. I see that talagang matalino kayo, nag-iisip no? And totoo. And we had a very nice dialogue with the business group upstairs, and I'm just looking forward to contributing what I can dito sa press con. Thank you very much.
General?
Mayong hapon sa inyong tanan. Well, ako po si General Guillermo Villasar. Nag-retire last sa serbisyo. I was here a couple of times, I believe, when I was the Chief PNP visiting our troops. And it's good to be back here. Now was candidate for Partido Reforma. Maraming salamat.
Thank you po. So to start the ball rolling, may I call Ellen D. Haresco, the editor of Negros Chronicle, to shoot the first question. Sir, go ahead.
Welcome to Dumaguete, Senator, and the bro Peter.
yeah, I know. That's why I was about to ask you.
Anyway,
Peter's a good friend.
yes sir.
Sa Bohol.
So Bohol and Negros is with you now, sir. 2 things. You're very famous for refusing the pork barrel, and what are you trying to tell the people? If you receive pork barrel, you will succumb to corruption.
No, it's not that. Pork barrel per se is not bad. It's the utilization of the pork barrel and the pork barrel system itself, because it's being abused. So, nangyari, kaya nga we came up with the brave advocacy, di ba? Because we want to empower the local government units para hindi yung insert na lang ng insert without planning. That is what is bad in the pork barrel system, because there's no more consultation with the local government units. Anyway, yung mga legislators, district representatives, and senators as well, anytime, mag-insert lang sila pag nasa amin yung budget. So, ang result, underutilization. Hindi nagagamit because there's no planning. The end users, hindi kasama sa planning, hindi rin kasama sa implementation. That's what is bad in the pork barrel system. Tapos yung commission, ang lalaki. Yun ang problema. Thank you.
Sorry, I don't want to follow up that. I have the next question because marami sa. A government official was convicted of tax evasion. I don't want to mention his name, but he appealed this case to the Court of Appeals. And when the Court of Appeals affirmed the decision, hindi sinama yung disqualification, which is basic in the law. What do you think of that decision, that incorruptible decision?
First, yun ang aming usapan ni Senate President. Basta if it concerns other presidential or vice presidential candidates, hindi kami mag-comment either positively or negatively. So I'm sorry, because even if you don't mention the name, everybody knows who you are referring to. So it's better just that we just issue a no comment remark rather than commenting, and kasi we'll break our our agreement. Na we'll just present ourselves, rise on our own merits, not engage in, for lack of a better word, gutter politics. Thank you.
So, what difference will you make when you become president?
Well, very much. Kasi clear yung platform namin, as I mentioned during our meeting with the business sector and the local government officials. Yung local government empowerment down to the barangays. In fact, yung aming budget reform na introduce, aside from bottom-up, gagawin namin zero-based. Yung best practices ng big corporations. Because ang nangyayari ngayon is budget ceiling. The DBCC, Development Budget Coordinating Committee, we just issue out a budget ceiling for the different agencies to work on. So, mali yun. Because ang nangyayari, say, DPWH, they will try to reach the ceiling or even go beyond para pagtawag sa hagi pa rin. They should work on presenting their budget zero-based. Meaning, each and every program, activity, project should be justified. Why they should be budgeted for the following year, ng budget year. Paghirapan nila para himay na himay ba na every single project will go through the tedious process na ginagawa sa local development councils. So, ang implementation will be very smooth, seamless, ika nga, walang issues, and efficient yung delivery ng services. Because once we unutilize or underutilize the budget, we're denying our people the services that they deserve. Di ba? Kasi kung 300 billion yung hindi gamit, how many Filipinos will be affected by not using 300 billion pesos in terms of appropriations?
Thank you, Sir Eli. Choi, go ahead.
May hapon, Senator. You are the principal author of the anti-terror law. The Supreme Court has declared two provisions, Section 4 and Section 25, as unconstitutional. What is your comment?
That's rather inaccurate. Not Section 4, not Section 25. A little proviso in each of the two sections. Ang inalisan na sa Section 4 yung sa pagka yung intent to parang destroy properties or baliwala yun. Actually, that was an amendment introduced by Senator Drilon, which I accepted being the sponsor. Kasi wala namang masyadong added value. Now that it has been struck out by the Supreme Court, then fine. No? The other one, wala rin, of no moment. Kasi the Supreme Court recognizes yung independence natin as a country. So, hindi tayo pwede ma-influence yung tinatawag na supranational jurisdiction wherein once designated by the United Nations, nasa provision yun or the EU, or any supranational territory or jurisdiction, automatic designated na ng ATC. Napaganda pa because ATC will have a free hand. Hindi sila parang forced or parang influenced by outside jurisdiction or any jurisdiction outside the country. So, the long and short of it, peace wins over terror. And we are very happy with the decision. No matter how they claim that they achieved partial victory, why are they whining? Why are they protesting? Why are they appealing kung nanalo sila? There's no partial victory to speak of in the first place. It is a total victory for peace against terror. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, another question being for Senator Soto.
Yes.
You're calling for an investigation on the large-scale smuggling and agricultural products. What is this all about?
The Trinidad Valley vegetable dealers sent a letter, and the provincial board of Benguet, Mountain Province also, sent a resolution to me expressing their concern over the smuggling of vegetables. And so I delivered this privilege speech on the matter so that we can have a full-blown investigation on what is wrong. Because apparently the Bureau of Customs has tried to file cases against some of these complaints. Or the persons being complained by the vegetable dealers. Now, the amount of vegetables or smuggled vegetables concerned is enormous. It reached 1 billion. But the cases that were filed against these people are violations of the Food Security Act, which entails only, 50,000 fine? Or a maximum of 100,000 fine? When the charges should be economic sabotage. And economic sabotage entails a maximum of life imprisonment. So that is why that is my reason for inviting the Department of Justice also on Tuesday for the hearing. To have the full picture of the Senate. Nagdagan ko lang yung sinabi kanina ni Senator Lacson about the anti-terror law. Again, Section 4 and Section 29 were never struck down. A one-liner in both sections were struck down, which was, kumbaga sa katawan ng tao, appendix. Pwedeng wala. Ganun po yung nangyari doon. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Ms. Sherlyn Infante Abella.
Good morning, Senator Ping, and also to Senator Soto and General Elizar and Dr. Padilla. May I ask, what's the update of your meeting with the business sector community this morning?
Yeah, very good. They're very receptive to sa aming platform. Especially yung empowerment ng local government units because after all, they're based here. So sila rin yung magiging partner sila sa development and other livelihood programs. Ang bonus kasing resultant effect pagka na-implement fully yung village empowerment pagdating sa budget, madidecongest yung mga highly urbanized cities because development will crawl slowly but surely sa mga local government units. Kasi right now, as we speak, only 20% of Regional Development Council endorsed programs, projects, and activities ang nakikerry sa National Expenditure Program, yung tinatawag nating President's Budget. No? Wrong. At least, initially, we should achieve a 50-50 kasi hindi rin natin maalis sa national government yung big ticket projects, yung sabihin na nating convergence, yung nagkakat across sa different provinces or different regions. Let's leave it to the national government. Pero yun naman mga projects na involving local roads, farm-to-market roads, ibigay na natin sa local government units. They know more or less where to put it and how to implement it. Because ngayon, yung disconnect between the national budget and the needs and priorities of the local government units very wide. Dumarating yung project sa mga LGUs, hindi namin kailangan niya. We don't need that. But just the same, because it is already in the law, which is the General Appropriations Act, yung national agencies will still implement. Case in point sa Naga City, we were there in Cebu, no? Sabi ng mayor, nagkaroon ng landslide, di ba? So gagawa sila ng seawall. Hindi naman yung kailangan nila, mas kailangan nila yung mga evacuation center. Wala sila nagawa. That's the disconnect. The national budget does not address the needs and priorities of the local government units. Who in the first place would know kung ano yung needs and priorities better than the local government officials, than the people. Because alam nyo, pag sinabi nating Local Development Council, multisectoral is not confined or limited to the local government officials, including congressmen. Multisectoral, CSOs kasama sa discussion. Yung NGOs kasama sa discussion. Multisectoral, everybody in the community should participate actively in the planning of the budget. So, yun talagang, at the risk of being accused of parang broken record ba, we always, express our thoughts in this regard.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to
Yeah,
ask-
one follow-up question?
No.
Another question?
Yes,
Okay.
another question
Yeah,
for Senator Tito Soto. As a chairman of the Nationalist People's Coalition, national. Until now, you haven't have an official declaration who will be the president will be NPC about to endorse. Now, you're always going together with Senator Ping.
Yeah.
But it's maybe no one.
Yes, you see, being a very old party already, we've been together since 1992. NPC was born in 1992. And we have always been the second largest political party, no matter who the president was. Because of that, we always, we have developed a camaraderie among us na every time there is a national decision to be made, we consult each other. So in the last few months, I had difficulty as NPC chairman to consult because we could not call them together because of the pandemic. Unlike before, ang dali we'll just call a meeting in the clubhouse in Balete Drive, in Quezon City, and even all the congressmen and governors will be present. This time, sometimes sa Bible, sometimes sa ganon. So what we're doing now, what I'm doing now, and I'm in consultation with the local officials, is to discuss it with the local officials. It might take a long time, a longer time, because hopefully by ang target namin by the first week of or second week of January, we will make an official announcement for the party in the national level. But as of now, there's no question about it. It's with Congressman Chiquiting Sagarbaria, who is provincial chairman of NPC, and I as the national chairman of NPC, and together with the 20 plus mayors of NPC. Kanina na we're together in all of them are NPC members. We have agreed that in Negros Oriental, the official NPC candidates to support are Senators Lacson and Senator Soto.
What about the
the others to follow.
Thank you po. By the way, our press con this afternoon is being live streamed over Facebook, live by Yes FM and Power 91. May I call Mian de Los Santos at TV5? She's gonna ask a question.
Los Baños.
Los Baños, I'm sorry. Mian Los Baños of TV5, please.
Hi, sir. Sir, balik ako sa anti-terror law. Because the petitioners aren't happy with the decision and they're saying na pakonsuelo yung naging decision. That's why i-aapela nila. Your reaction, Senping and SP?
Well, first they were claiming victory. Next, they claimed partial victory. Now, they're whining and say that they will appeal and they're not happy. So, which is which? Now, you know, ang daming misconception about the anti-terrorism law. Ano yun? Kinain na ng propaganda, counter-propaganda. Maybe they were noisier than we are because we are, you know, we just maintain the proper decorum. Because it's in the Supreme Court, there's a pending case, a petition, so we chose to keep quiet. And so, if it was the right or wrong move, maybe we should rethink our position because we respect the Supreme Court as an institution, a co-equal branch of government. Wala silang masyadong constraints pagdating doon. They can speak their minds, parang wantonly violating the sub-judice rule. Kami, we observe, but we keep monitoring. And we also gave our share by forwarding to the Solgen yung aming mga, yung minutes ng aming deliberation to show na yung intent of the law is not to, you know, to parang suppress dissent. Malinaw eh, it's only directed at terrorists. Gusto ba natin maulit yung Marawi siege? Definitely not, di ba? So, it's a total victory for myself as the principal sponsor and Senate President Soto as the principal author, as well as the 22 other senators, at least in the Senate, who voted in favor. Only 2 dissented. Even Senator Drilon voted in favor of the measure. Ang dalawa lang nag-dissent dito, Senator Rizal Tiveros and Senator Kiko Pangilinan. That is spite of the fact that I accepted most of their amendments. So ito talaga, directed yung sinasabi nilang binayolate daw lang yung Constitution dahil in-extend yung period of detention from the usual 72 hours to 14 days, extendable hanggang 24 days. No, we did not amend the Constitution. Hindi violation because ang nasa ano yun pwedeng amend yun because it is in the revised penal code. Ilang beses na natin na-amend yung provisions ng revised penal code. Ang hindi natin ginalaw, ang hindi pwedeng galawin, yung Rule 113, yung sa citizen's arrest or warrantless arrest. Again, yung black propaganda nila, sinasabi nila, we amended that, na pwede na raw arrestuhin by mere accusation. No! Nando pa rin yung in the act of committing, about to commit, has just committed, tapos may probable cause yung arresting officer or any civilian. Hindi lang police officer, kaya lang tawag doon citizen's arrest. For example, may yan, naka-witness ka, may personal knowledge ka, na meron nagpaplantang bomba. You can ask for assistance from, kasi babae ka, baka hindi mo kaya, and you can arrest the suspect right there. What's wrong with that? You are a hero because you are able to prevent an act of terrorism. Ang gusto nila, kumuha mo na ng warrant para sa court. Sumabog na tayong lahat. You see how they, paano nila tinitwist yung facts. Those are facts that cannot be, but they were able to inculcate in the minds of some people na masama yung law because by mere accusation, pwede nang arrestin. No, no, no. Hindi nagalaw yung Rule 113, yung sa tinatawag na warrantless or citizen's arrest. Tumatango yung abogado ni Senate President.
I think Tito Sen, my reaction. And then we will also, after Tito Sen, pakinggan natin si General Eleazar.
The enforcer of the anti-terror law. Dati, hindi ako nagsasalita dyan tungkol dyan. Baka sabihin ng Supreme Court sub judice. Pero ito, bottom line lang to. Trump po naka-bottom line sa in-explica ni Senator Lacson. Anong i-a-appeal mo? Lahat ng nire-reklamong naririnig ko sa media na sinasabi nila wala sa batas. Wala naman doon yung nire-reklamo nila Alin ang aalisin? Hindi na. Ganun lang kasimple.
Sir, follow up. Sorry. Go ahead, sir.
Can we hear
Yes,
General
I've been in the
Eleazar
police service for more than 3 decades. And in law enforcement, we need all the laws na kailangan ma-implement natin, lalo na sa protection ng ating mga kabayan. So, no question sa us, talagang gusto namin ito. But of course, meron tayong procedures and andun nga, meron batas at question nila sa Supreme Court. So, ginalang natin yun at nag-decide na ang Supreme Court. So, meaning to say, yung kanilang mga sinasabi about those mga violation ng Constitution, nag-decide na ang Supreme Court at sinasabi na except for those 2 provisos na na-explain ni Senator Ping Lacson, okay lahat yun. Of course, they can appeal and that is part of the system. But in so far as we are concerned, naandyan ang Supreme Court na nagsasabi na itong ginawang batas na ito ay para sa protection natin at walang violation ng Constitution. Yun ang po masasabi ko. Thank you.
Salamat po. Yes, Ms. Ayan.
Follow up lang sa inyo po ulit, sir. ATL pa rin. If and when they file the appeal for the anti-terror law, are you confident that the ATL will hold its ground and will still be constitutional even after the appeal?
Alam mo, ang problema kasi lagi sa implementation. Kasi sometimes, law enforcement officers, mali yung interpretation or they extend yung meaning o yung spirit ng law. Meron naman tayong provision sa batas na pwedeng parusahan yung law enforcement officers who violate the provisions of the law. The same is true with the anti-terrorism law. Just like any other law, pwedeng subject to abuse. Hindi lang naman yung ATL. Bakit sinisingle out lagi yung ATL na iaabusuhin ito? Kaya nga mayroong mga nakukulong na pulis kasi inaabuso yung pag-interpret nila. Kasi ang interpretation sa Supreme Court, implementation lang, susunod lang yung law enforcement officer sa pag-implement, sa pag-execute.
So you think it will still be constitutional even after the appeal? Or you're confident that the SC or the Court of Appeals
Again,
will
let's leave it to the Supreme Court to decide.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Mayan. Roy?
May I repeat what I said? Hail the Supreme Court. Terrorists, beware.
Ma'am, isa na lang po. It's ATL pa rin, sir, sorry Nagdidetalye lang ako. Ang sabi po kasi ng isa sa mga petitioners, si Bayan Muna Chairman Eddie Colmenares, yung mga kontra sa gobyerno, yung magiging target ng batas. Kasi isa sa mga naiwang provision, yung kapangyarihan ng Anti-Terrorism Council na tumukoy ng mga tao or organisasyon na terorista. So they're afraid na baka mga kalaban ng mga anti-government or opposition yung tamaan nito.
No, there's nothing wrong with that kasi administrative act yun eh. Ina-interpret nila na binigyan daw ng judicial or quasi-judicial power yung ATC. Yung sinasabi naman sa terrorist financing, meron na talagang batas. We just restated it in the Anti-Terrorism Act. But hindi sila nag-petition do sa yung batas do sa terrorist financing. Alam mo, when we consulted the US government, yung Department of Justice nila, worse pa nga yung gusto nila sa kanila, yung parang one-party consent. Hindi natin pinayagan yun Dito sa atin, dapat kukuha ka ng permiso sa korte. Tinaasan pa nga natin yung sa pag-wiretap, yung electronic surveillance. Under RA 4200, RTC lang. Pwede kang kumuha ng court order, pwede ka na mag-wiretap. Alam mo, sa Anti-Terrorism Act, inelevate pa namin sa Court of Appeals. 3 yung justices na mag-uusap doon kung mag-i-issue ba ng court order authorizing the law enforcement agencies to wiretap. Ayaw pa ba nila yun? Yung nadagdagan pa yung safeguards? And find me a law na yung arresting officer is mandated under this law to report to the nearest judge where the arrest was conducted and to the Commission on Human Rights and to the Anti-Terrorism Council na such arrest was done, was conducted. Maghanap ka ng batas na mayroong ganun. Pag hindi nag-report yung law enforcement within 24 hours, kulong siya ng 10 years.
But as the principal author, can you assure that the ATC will not just target the members of the opposition?
Nasa batas yun Hindi naman tinatarget yung opposition
Okay.
Pag tinarget ang opposition, hindi ko alam saan nanggagaling yung tatargetin sila. Huwag sila mag-terrorize. Huwag sila magpasabog. Huwag sila mag-commit ng acts of terrorism. Maski sino naman, whether they're members of the opposition, whether they're sympathizers of the CPP and PA, whether you are members of media, whether you're members of Congress, if you commit acts of terrorism, you'll be answerable under the law. So wag silang magpaka-special na sila yung tatargetin. No. Yung law is the law. Walang tinatarget ito, kundi yung nagko-commit ng acts of terrorism.
Thank you po. Roy?
Thank you po.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
General Elizar, sir. Negros Oriental is the first beneficiaries of the LCAP. No? The budget is not being deliberated in the LCAP, sir. Are you supporting for more budget or slashing of the budget, sir?
Well, for the, we know that for the past more than 5 decades, yan ang problema natin insurgency. Ako from Quezon Province, ako'y nagka-isip nung ako'y lumaki. Alam ko, NPA is part na ng aking buhay namin doon sa Quezon. So, pumasok ko ng PMA, graduate ako hanggang magretiro, naandyan pa rin siya. So, taon-taon, nandyan at nagbibigay ng budget, ang ating pamalaan para ma-address yan. Pero, hindi pa rin na-address. Kaya siguro, ang ating administrasyon ay talaga nagtulak na once and for all, kaya nga from the word alone, and the local communist armed conflict, napakaganda nun. At yung pagbibigay ng development or sustainable development for those barangays na na-clear na natin is napakaganda para hindi balik-balik. But ang punto kasi natin doon, kaya nga siguro nire-review yun at may question doon sa implementasyon ng mga end utilization of the budget na binibigay doon. Napakaganda ng intention, pero saan mang proyekto, pag talagang nagkaroon tayo ng problema at hindi natin inaayos ang disbursement ng pondo, talaga pong question yan. At doon pumasok ang ating Senado dahil the intent of the law is for this to be utilized properly, pero nagkakaroon ng mga allegation, kaya yun ang sinecheck nila. But sa atin, we fully supported that. Just like Senator Ping Lacson, siya naman talaga ang nagtulak, kami ngayon natutuwa. Dahil balagi kami, dahil tayong taon-taon na nakikinabang dito. So kung ito ay matatapos na doon sa LCAC na ito at mawawala na yan, and then sa mga susunod na taon, hindi na tayo magbibigay ng budget dyan at ibubuhos na yun sa ibang projects ng ating pamahalaan.
Thank you po. So we will have the last two questions. One from GMA Cebu, Victor, and then the last would be from Miss Lani. If we still have a few minutes, then we will have Rafi. Go ahead, Victor.
Yes, ganang ako po lahat. Kay Senator Lacson. Kapag kayo po ay naupo bilang presidente po, paano po natin, ano po ang magiging senaryo o kalagayan ng ating human rights?
Well, a human rights violation is a human rights violation, and people responsible for committing the human rights violations of others must be accountable, must be answerable, and criminally liable, under the existing laws of the land.
Kay General.
Reaction, sir.
Yes, tama po yun. Kasi, alam nyo, nagkatugma-tugma yung ating sinasabing panuntunan. Ako kasi, ang tama ay tama at mali ay mali. In fact, when I took my oath of office as the 26th Chief of the Philippine National Police, isa lang sinabi natin, Presidente, ang marching order niya, do what is right and legal. At yun ang dapat natin gawin. And just like what Senator Ping has said, tayo may makarapatan. At pag binirate mo ang karapatan ng bawat isa, ay pananagutan mo yan. Lalo na, kung mag-violate nito, yung mga taong dapat na nagbibigay ng proteksyon sa ating bayan. Kaya nga galit na galit tayo doon sa mga pulis na nag-aabuso at nagbabalabis. At gustong gawin natin din yan, hindi lang para sa mga pulis, kung hindi sa lahat ng mga empleyado o kawin natin pamahalaan na binigyan sila through the law ng dagdag na authority para magpatupad or mag-implement nitong mga batas na ito.
I think we will have to hear from Dr. Yeah, yes po.
Alam nyo, ako, human rights is human rights talaga, no? Pero there's also what you call responsibilities, no? Lahat tayo may karapatan, pero lahat rin tayo may responsibilidad. Problema, ang iba, ang sinisigaw, karapatan. But there's also a limit if you are also encroaching on the rights of others, no? Pero kilala ko si Senator Lacson for 17 years, no? Kaya ako sumama rito kasi ako hindi ako militar, hindi ako sundalo, doktora ako. And I'm also very conscious of human rights. But as I always tell people, lalo na yung mga ayaw magpapakuna, karapatan daw nila. Yes, karapatan. Pero with every decision, may responsibility, may consequence, may kapalit. So hindi puro karapatan pang sarili. But definitely, we have to have responsible citizens who understand that you have rights, but you also have responsibilities. That's what we need to see.
Thank you po. Ms. Lani, go ahead with your question.
Thank you. Senator Lacson, please. Sir, I would like to ask, you are very much against corruption.
Yeah.
So, how would we do things that public funds would be protected and not corrupted with our COVID response now we're facing the pandemic?
First, make answerable those who should be held responsible or accountable. Second, there's only one standard. You cannot succeed if there are two standards, iba para sa alay, iba para sa hindi kakilala. Dapat isa lang talaga. And do away with lip service. Walang double speak. Pag may nagkamali, dapat managot. And most important of all, leadership by example. You cannot preach what you cannot practice. You cannot succeed. Kaya nga nung nag-GPLP ako, I led by example. Sabi ko, walang kotong sa kalsada, hindi na ako tumatanggap ng kotong. Kasi kung alam nila, yung hepe nila o yung head ng office, tumatanggap ng kotong, pagbabawalan mo yung mga tao mo, huwag kayo mangutong. It's impossible. Nobody will follow. So leadership by example. There is no substitute to it. It is second to none.
Every day is no Kotong Day.
Every day in the Philippines is National Anti-Kotong Day.
Yes. So, sir, what is your strong stand in the issue of the West Philippine Sea for the national interest of our country?
Well, we cannot do it alone. We are very weak militarily, country. So we need to, this is shared by maritime law experts, sina Professor J. Batumbakal, everybody for that matter. We need to strengthen our alliances with other militarily stronger countries. Like and they're very willing, We were hosted dinner noong 15 ambassadors, mostly from EU. Kami dalawa ni Senate President. This was over a month ago. And sila very interested. Why? Because they also want to pursue their own national interest. Gusto nila may freedom of navigation doon sa sea lanes. Kasi with China, laging naninita. When we were given a briefing by Westcom, after we visited Pag-asa, sabi nila, yung merong US warship that entered yung mismong zone wherein nagwa-water cannon yung mga Chinese Coast Guard. Wala, hindi nila nasita. Ang in-invoke lang nila yung right of innocent passage. Napasok kami rito Kasi alam nila may match sila So ang tawag namin doon ni General Yasar, balance of power. Kailangan i-balance mo yung power ng China, not to provoke a third world war, but, to prevent them from abusing. Look, ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng EEZ? That's 200 nautical miles off the coast. Yung Ayungin Shoal, for example, or otherwise known as the Second Thomas Shoal, that's 105 nautical miles from the nearest coast sa Palawan. Pero sa China, 685 nautical miles. Kanino yun? Bakit kinakanyon yung ating mga supply vessels? Di ba napakaliwanag? Now, kung merong kasamang US warship o US Coast Guard na vessel, so huwag na, yung military, Navy, US Navy, I don't think they can afford to, employ yung high pressure. Salt water yun, na masakit sa mata yun. Nasira pa yung one supply vessel. Dalawa yon because kailangan merong katandem. Dahil pag nasiraan, merong magre-rescue. And yet, they denied na makapag-resupply. So, balance of power is the answer.
Okay.
Ms. Ping, just a parting question, Sir Senator Ping.
We're running out of time. I'm sorry, Ms.
Senator
Lani.
Ping, if elected president, are you willing to disclose your SALN?
Not only that, I will sign a waiver of my rights under the Bank Secrecy Act. Not in the first 100 days, but on the first day.
Thank you. Before we wrap up, no, wait. I will give 30 seconds or a minute to each. Your final message for the people in Dumaguete and Negros Oriental. Shall we start with you, Doctora?
30 seconds. To the people of Dumaguete and to the Philippines, ako ay isang doktora, I've been serving my country. Ako rin ay katuwang ni si Senator Lacson for the last 17 years fighting corruption. And it's an honor for me to be chosen to be part of his senatorial slate. And one of the main reasons is his strong stance against corruption. If we solve corruption in the country, siguro 50 to 60% of our problems will be solved. So please, support Senator Lacson.
Thank you, Doctora. General?
Para po sa ating mga kabayan dito, ako po si General Yasar na tumatakbo sa Senado. Nakita naman natin si Senator Lacson nanggaling din sa PNP. Ngayon naging matagumpay na mambabatas at nag-aaspire na mamuno ng ating bansa. So ibig sabihin na, in my own little way, being in the PNP and that serve our country, I think na I can continue my service to the country sa pagpatupad ng mga bagay na makakatulong para sa kunlaran ng ating bayan. Maraming salamat.
Thank you po. Tito Sen?
Subuano na ko.
Cebuano.
Bisaya.
Bisaya.
We look forward to being allowed by our countrymen to implement the laws that we have authored and sponsored. Senator Lacson and I together, we have 42 years of legislative experience. Karamihan sa mga importanteng batas na tinatalakay ngayon, kami ang may akda. Give us the chance to implement these laws excellently. Thank you.
Thank you po. Finally, Sir Ping.
2 words lang. Dagang salamat.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for gracing the press.